Today's service sure isn't about weight. That doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just an example. What's important to you? What's important to you right now? What do you want? What do you not want? Think about it for just a second. What do you want? What do you really, really want? And what are the things that you have fear around? You say, gosh, I sure don't want to experience this or that or these or those. What do you want? That is probably the most empowering statement any of us will ever hear. What do you want? Knowing that you are empowered by that little spark of God inside you, that nothing is beyond you. Nothing. Nothing. Like creates like. Two dogs don't have a cat. Two dogs make a little dog. Two cats don't have a dog. They have another cat. Like creates like. We are created by an all-powerful spirit. And inside of us we have an all-powerful spirit. The only things in your life that squish that down are things that you were taught. Is one of the biggest cosmic jokes, I believe, that we think we get smarter as we get to be adults because we know more stuff. Those kids, they just don't know what they're talking about. They just don't know enough yet. They don't have enough life experience to understand limitation. I think maybe it's the other way around. When you were a kid, what did you believe was possible? What did you believe could stand in your way? Anything? Anything? Did you have to justify why you wanted anything in your life? I want it because, ... No. You gave yourself permission to want it for no reason other than you wanted it. Now, I'm not talking about just a physical thing. It could be an emotional thing. It could be a health thing. It could be a relational thing. It could be the love of a friend or a parent or a peer or a puppy. You allowed yourself to want just because you wanted. You allowed yourself to have just because you wanted. Now right now when I ask you what do you want in your life, what shows up first? The images and the feelings of the things that you want? Or the limiting thoughts of fear squishing you down, telling you you can't have it? Nobody else is inside your head. I'm psychic, but I'm not that. I'm not. That's your private space, that space between you and God. That space that Mary helps us reach every week through meditation. It's just you and God in there. There is no lies. There is no falsehood. There is no need to deceive. There is no judgment. It's a place where you and God hang out. When you and God are hanging out in that space in your head and your heart, and you hear the question, what do you want? What do you say? What do you say to yourself? What do you say to God? Completely up to you. There's no good, bad, right, wrong, folks. It's just what do you want? And what shows up is the first thing that shows up, you having it, or something that you can do that will lead you in the direction of it, or something that will push you away from it. As metaphysicians, as the spiritual community, as enlightened beings, we've heard the stories of the spiritual 2x4 over and over again. Oh, that spiritual 2x4, that'll get you rich. And it can, but not from an old paradigm of thought and way. Not that your guides and your angels and God Himself are stacked up to beat you. That's not it. That's not it. They're just there to guide you. And they love you enough to increase the volume if you choose not to hear. In the skit, God made the analogy of if your child is running down the road to chase his or her ball, and you see a car coming, you say, Billy, Billy. Sweetheart, get out of the road. Billy. Well, I guess Billy didn't hear me. Is that what you do? That's not what I do. It may start with Billy, 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 right? And it escalates. Billy, Billy, get out of the road. We're God's kids. Sometimes we're so focused on our ball that we don't see the oncoming traffic. We just don't see it. Thank goodness God's paying attention. Thank goodness our guides are paying attention. Our angels are paying attention, and they love us enough to say, Scott, 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 dude, come here. Billy's a pretty yellow ball. I was after my pretty yellow ball. Yeah, but dude, did you see the Mack truck screaming down the road at 90 miles an hour with no brakes? No, but I saw a pretty yellow ball. When the spiritual 2x4 comes, we can say, thank you. Thank you for seeing that which I couldn't see and getting my attention enough to step out of the way, to do something different. Show of hands in the room, who has felt the spiritual 2x4? Who has felt a little whisper of, psst, hey, you need to do this? Who at some point in their life chose to go, didn't hear it. Now, whose angels love them enough to go from, psst, hey, to, you paying attention? And how many of us, at different points in time in our life, not all the time, but every once in a while, say, oh, I heard that, but I'm busy. It's not convenient. Da, 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 da. I am really glad I'm in a group of honest people, because I would feel really silly being the only one raising my hand and meeting it. Now, how many folks have got the bigger extent of the 2x4? You will pay attention right now. Now, here's a tough one. How many folks know that they control the volume of that speech from a whisper to a yell? If we would have listened when it was a small voice, psst, hey, come do this. Okay. The voice never gets louder. Show of hands in the room who either has a kid or knows a kid. Okay. Now, when we need their attention to do something, hey Johnny, would you take out the trash? Let me paint a picture. Let's say Johnny is watching television. Johnny, would you take out the trash? Nothing. No, just in that zone, they're focused on their yellow ball. They're focused on SpongeBob. They're focused on whatever they're focused on. And the wall of their bubble is so thick that they don't hear us. It's not because they don't want to, it's not out of disrespect, it's not out of anything else. They're just in that zone. We love them enough to raise a voice. Johnny. And sometimes, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this, Now imagine being God. Imagine being God, listening to each one of us tell, God, I want this. God, I want this. I really want to experience this thing, or this love, or these people, or this health, or this change, or this finance, or this abundance, or this freedom. Now imagine being God saying, you want that? Here's the way. I don't hear you. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for you. You said you wanted it. I'm leading you to it. I'll speak up. Hey, it's over here. How much encouragement, how much motivation does that give God to give us the things that we want to do? And this is with re-sculpting your entire world, with working with the programming of every TV station just to put the commercials on that are going to make you go either, oh, not that commercial again, I'm out of the room. Or, thank goodness for my DVR, fast forward, don't gotta see it, don't gotta see it, don't. And then we leave our house and we see more of what I didn't see that, I didn't see this, right? The signs are everywhere. God has to change and shift the entire planet just to show you the things that you need to see. that spiritual 2x4. First inside and then in your outside world. Because it's not just all in your head. We try to convince ourselves of that sometimes. Wow, it's not really going on, it's just all in my head. It's all in my head. Who here has a car? When you first got your car, whatever your car is, when you first got it, did you not see 100 other of your car on the road instantly? When you just sold a car, do you not see 100 of the car you just sold in the exact color and the exact style, even with the same rims? You go, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car. Part of it may be perception, and our perception is opened up to it. But part of it, maybe that little 2x4 showing you that it's not just inside, the whole outside world. He had to convince this driver to take this route to work. And for you to leave specifically at this time and then to leave specifically at this time in order for you to pass that car. And then duplicated that experience 60 more times in a 5-mile stretch. Tell me God's not powerful. Tell me you don't matter enough for him to adjust all of those things just to show you that car 50 times in one day. So that you give yourself permission to say, oh, well, gosh, you know, maybe that's not just all in my head. What do you want in your life? You have a spark of God inside you. Light creates light. We look at the spiritual 2x4 oftentimes from the standpoint of correction, like we're getting a spanking. That's only one half of the teeter-totter. There's the other half I want to talk to you about for a second. What if the thing that you want is good, but you're afraid to let yourself have it? What's strong enough to take you outside your comfort zone to where you can actually have what you wanted? That same little 2x4. We look at it like in the skip of overcoming something like weight or whatever. What if it's something else? What if you say, I want real quality friendships in my life. I really, really want this. And that little voice, as you're hanging out on a Sunday afternoon, says, why don't you go to Cafe Unique and have some French toast? There's a whole bunch of people there who love you. Do you say, yeah, I can do that? Or do you say, okay? Or do you say, you know, I'm really too busy. I want friendships in my life, but I've got stuff to do. That's up to you. That's free will. Imagine if you say, I want abundance in my life. I'm tired of dealing with bills. I hear the things about what we believe, that we help the world as we help ourselves, and money is just energy and all these things. I want more money in my life. And maybe God brings you this thing that says, here, do this. Here's more money. Do we say, okay, thank you? Or do we say, oh, no, we can't have that. It needs to come in this way. It needs to come in through only this door or this window. That's up to you. Whatever is going on in your life, whatever you think that you want, is in alignment with the little voice in your head. Is it in alignment with what you see coming at you every day? And the people that you know, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, is it reflecting back in alignment with that little voice, in alignment with that intention? If it is, great. You're on track. You're on track. How many people can relate to at least some part of that being on track? Yeah? I want you to face the person next to you and pat them on the back. Well, congratulations, they're on track. That's good. Now, giving and receiving. Whoever patted somebody, let them pat you. You're on track. You're on track. You can do it. You are doing it. This is cause for celebration because there have been enough times in our life that we've gone, and enough times that we've gone, if you're doing it, if those things are in alignment, you are on track. That little spark inside of you is manifesting incredibly. And right now, we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, the cosmic magnifying glass, things being in accelerated time, being faster and more profound than they have been ever before, probably in your lifetime. If you're on track right now, be prepared for some amazing changes. If instead, you can relate to yourself as the person hearing the little voice, seeing the little signs in your life going, you may want to at least give yourself credit to upgrade to, because it's a step in the right direction. And if you're already at, I suppose, you may want to give that an upgrade also to, heck yeah, woo-hoo, let's go do it. I'm excited about doing it. It's no longer, I have to, and it's no longer, I really don't want to, I don't hear you. Let's kick it up the notch. Let's kick it up the scale, because if you're already in alignment with the things in your life that you say that you want, grab it. With God's help, with each other's help, grab it. The time is now. If by the same token you find yourself not in alignment with something, that what you're thinking about and what you're seeing in your outside world are not the same, push pause, please. Push pause. If you find yourself in a hole and you don't know how to get out, the first step is to stop digging. Put the shovel down. Look around. Okay, how did I get here? Do I want to be here? No. Okay. Look at the shovel that just dug your hole and say, this is the only tool I need to get out of here. I just need to shovel it underneath my feet instead of throwing the dirt out. And very soon you'll step right out of the hole. Here's the key. You're not digging alone. God's got a shovel. I will get calluses on my hands helping you. And chances are, if you simply say, can y'all help me? Look around the room. If somebody asked you to help them, would you show up with your shovel? Would you? Of course you would. I know you. You're big-hearted folks. Now here's the other question. Would you have the courage to ask, will you come help? Allowing other people to be the heroes in your life. We'll all show up easily with shovels to help somebody else, but when it's your turn, when you need help with your hole, we have the courage to ask, can y'all help me out? Because every one of us will show up for each other. By the same token, when we ask for help, we make ourselves vulnerable. It's only vulnerable if we're expecting to get hurt. It's a cause for celebration when we see that the hero we were able to be in someone's life because we showed up with our shovel, we get to be the hero in their life by showing up with ours. Because chances are we're going to listen to that spiritual 2x4 that says, psst, looks like somebody needs some help. Yeah, where's my shovel? Let's hang out. I would wager that if you say, with courage, I need some help with this, I bet you will not see one in this room. Not one. Because I know you. We're here to help each other. God is here to help us, and we have a spark of the divine inside us. What do you want? And it's not on your shoulders to get it. Follow your own little trail of breadcrumbs and keep your 2x4 very small. Thank you.
And as a reminder of our spiritual 2x4s and keeping it small, we have small.
Well, every week at Connections we give you a gift, and we do for a couple reasons. One, the things we talk about, we don't just talk. We bring them into our physical reality. And as you leave here every Sunday with a physical, tangible something in your life, it reminds you, every time you see it, that this stuff is real. God is real. Your spiritual self is real, and these tools are valid. They are real, and they make a tangible difference in your life.
So your own spiritual 2x4, your own physical 2x4, that's still small before it gets to be gigantic.
So remember to keep your 2x4s small. They don't have to hurt. They don't even have to be painful. the song every week of help me remember who I am. So, helping you remember who you are doesn't have to be painful. It can be gentle. It can actually be helpful. I'm here to remind you the spiritual 2x4 is not something to be feared. Nothing of God is to be feared. It's just a tool. Because God loves you enough to say, hey, this is what you wanted, it's over this way. Because we get too busy sometimes in our daily lives to hear that little voice. We give God and our guides, our angels, permission to tap us on the shoulder.
On the other side of that door is giving. Each week we not only give to God, we give to ourselves as you exchange energy back and forth.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but when somebody in my life does something cool for me, I like to do something cool for them. I realize that in my own life, I ask a lot of God. I ask a lot. I send a lot of prayers for a lot of people. There's a lot of things in my life that I want different or better than I had yesterday. Continually going up this little staircase of life, getting a different perspective. There's different things that I want and I need, and some of those things I know I can do myself. Other of those things, I need some guidance on. If there's a big red phone in the sky that goes to God, I pick it up a lot of times every day. Because I do that, anybody here, by show of hands, ever have anybody, not necessarily right now, but any time in your life, that every time they called, they wanted something? Anybody ever looked at caller ID, seen that person's name, and went, uh-oh? Anybody ever gone as far as to say, voicemail? I never want God to think of me that way. I never want God to get the big red phone in the sky and look down and go, oh, it's God again. Jesus, would you put that to voicemail? Holy Spirit, can we get that later? It's not a good time for me. I never want to have that reaction with anyone. You know the way to not have that reaction? To give back. To give back to whoever's phone you're ringing. If there's somebody that you always call for help, and they're always there to pick up the phone, and they never put you to voicemail, not just here, not just, I mean, this is giving and receiving aside, this is just life stuff. Do something good for them. Do something nice for them. Surprise them. So that they're smiling when they pick up your phone call. When they see your name on caller ID, you don't get, I suppose. Right? It's no different with our relationships with each other or our relationships with God. So this part of the service, we invite you to exchange energy with God. Now, I'm not saying you're buying off the big guy. It doesn't work that way. But money's just energy. It's giving our energy. You showing up today is giving your energy to God. It's telling God, you matter enough for me to be here, for me to roll out of bed. Right? This is just another expression of exchanging energy with God. I ask you to take your gift in your hand, infuse it with energy. Picture giving it directly to God. And if you agree with what's on the screen, I invite you to read it with me. Divine Spirit, bless these gifts. I welcome abundance in my life. Bless and multiply all that I am able to give and all that I am willing to receive. Now this is up to you. It's between you and God and nothing else. In my life, for me, not saying that you should or need to do anything. Vern, who was here last week, has a great saying. He says, I won't should on you if you don't should on me. Right? This is what you should do, but this is what I do. Because God is such a big part of my life every day. To me, it's not taking something out of the wallet. It's knowing that I would have nothing without God, without you, without each other. Do we have magic pen?
Love
closing blessing. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this incredible morning, this incredible group of people, for that energy that we can all feel. Thank you for helping us to remind each other who we are, that light creates light, that you are not some distant God far, far away. Light creates light. You've created us as a version of yourself. But it's a team sport that we're all connected. We thank you for guiding Mary through the meditation, that each of us would maybe put a little amplifier on that small voice that you use so that we could hear it more easily. We would take the time throughout our day to listen to what you have to say and follow the guidance that we receive. That these things would help our days get better and better, while we get to know ourselves and you in a deeper, more powerful and profound way. We thank you, Lord. Amen.